And good morning. Welcome to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. We come at you at 7:30 a.m. in the morning, usually me, and 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. And that's a rotating, that is a rotating group of folks from the editorial department. Yesterday you saw David Gray, who is our lifestyle editor. Drew Walker has also been on the show as well. He is our community liaison. He covers a little bit of news too. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. We appreciate you being here this morning. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, thank you for that. If you're listening to us later or watching us later on YouTube, we appreciate that as well. We are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are on all those social media platforms. We also upload these shows as well as our long-form podcasts too. www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. So if you ever can't make a live show or you went out of town and don't really want to watch me while you're out of town, don't blame you. You can do it when you come back. We upload all of those to that portion of our site. It is free, so no subscription required. You can log on there, check out the headlines as we present them. We also push these out via social media. We're also on all podcast platforms, which includes Apple Podcasts. Finally got them. Going to have a special guest here tomorrow. It is Councilman Gary Frog Talbert, who is also running for a seat. We're going to be talking about a long and wide variety of content here on the morning show, and then we'll be talking even more during a podcast after, so be looking for that tomorrow. He and I will get kicked off at 7:30. Run through the morning show and then move on to a podcast. Also got two more podcasts coming at you this week. One of them based around FEMA, and the other one's going to be a surprise. So I'm going to let you wait with bated breath if you even listen to those. But we'll get to the paper and the content and the headlines in just a second. First, let's check on your traffic for this morning. Pretty normal traffic flow for a school morning here on Thursday. It's about 7:36 a.m. Heavy delays backed up past Jubin today, as well as Jubin and 190. Delays at 190 River Road and 4-H Club Road, where they come to a confluence at the western end of Denham Springs. There was also delays on 64 heading into Central. So pretty heavy delays, pretty normal commute for most folks this morning as you head into Baton Rouge. For your weather, it's currently 73 degrees, high of 92 today, no chance of rain, which is a good deal after we had quite a few thunder bumpers and rough showers come through yesterday. Weather and traffic are brought to you by brproud.com. That's WGMB Fox 44 and WVLA NBC 33. Please give them a check out. Go watch them. If you have DirecTV or AT&T, please call 800-288-2020. Right now, you do not have Fox 44 on that platform, which means you can't watch the Saints here in the fall. So give them a call. Try to get that service reinstituted. So let's jump into the headlines of the show. First and foremost, as we mentioned, there's a delegation from Livingston Parish who is in Washington, D.C. at the moment in arbitration over inundated roads with FEMA, with the district judge moderating that. The front page of Thursday's paper, and the main story is a story about a close call. The parish, there were issues with their disaster response. There were also issues with the permitting process and things of that nature. So FEMA had to go through some steps, find some paperwork, do some analysis on the ground, that sort of thing. And then they required reports. Well, after the first report was submitted, based around substantially damaged homes and that sort of thing, the parish was removed from the community rating system, which we've talked about before. If you don't know what that is, the brief example is it's a program for which you can get discounts on your flood insurance by earning points in regard to disaster mitigation, disaster information, as well as disaster or flooding or drainage improvement or prevention ordinances. The parish is kicked out of that program. They were at a 9. It's out of 10. Every point gets you a 5% discount. So people in the parish got that 5% increase. After that, a letter came through explaining to the parish what they would have to do to well, it didn't really explain. It told them why they were in trouble and said that they would have to put together an action plan that showed what they would do to improve their standing in not only the community rating system, but the National Flood Insurance Program. During that time, 27 home sites were inspected that are in what's called severe repetitive loss areas or severe flood hazard areas. Not necessarily the same thing, but they're not always mutually exclusive as well. Sometimes it's both, sometimes it's one or the other. In this case, the area was both. It was a severe flood loss area and a severe flood hazard area, and those 27 home sites did not pass FEMA inspection. During that time, that report was due on those homes on June 23rd, which is 30 days after receiving the letter saying, you're in trouble, here's what you can do to do better. Or, here are the reasons you're in trouble, and here are some of the suggestions we have. And they were suggestions, they weren't exactly specific. So from there, it was an interesting month, interesting 45 days as those who had known about the letter were kind of waiting to see what the follow-up would be to that report. Eventually, a statement came out from Senator Bill Cassidy that said any kind of suspension or revocation of the NFIP would have been devastating to a community. First and foremost, absolutely. That would have definitely been devastating here to Livingston Parish. But second, which is the underlying sort of subtext of that statement, is FEMA was considering suspending or removing the NFIP in Livingston Parish. There are some who believe that since East Baton Rouge got in trouble for many of the same reasons, that it saved Livingston Parish because it was just too many people to do that. At any rate, it doesn't necessarily matter. All that matters is it was a close call, which you can read about in the Thursday paper. A lot of the details to the story, if you're interested in such things, it's also online. It was posted last weekend. Remember, we are $5 a month online. If you're having trouble staying logged in, give us a call, 225-665-5176. So we will not lose flood insurance in Livingston Parish, which is great news, but FEMA will be down the necks of the parish as they work through their permitting issues, flood ordinance issues, and that sort of thing. So there will be some definitely FEMA molded things coming down the pipe over the next 6 months to a year as the parish tries to get back into the community rating system and tries to get back into the good graces of FEMA. Remember, they are also up there in our arbitration with them over inundated roads. There are a lot of specific rule sets for inundated roads in a post-disaster world, and the FEMA handbook says they just don't pay for it. So it will be interesting to see what kind of settlement they walk away with up there. It's pretty horrible news. Mr. Kevin Fambro, who covers news for us, jumped from one murder trial of Blason Fife, who received a second degree, life in prison, into another that's even worse. This one was a murder / dismemberment currently occurring out in Livingston. So he got a one-day reprieve from that and then jumped into this case. Excuse me. Here's the lead for the story. There was no argument or words exchanged, but when Michael Neufeld walked toward Martin Morgan, Morgan shot Neufeld in the face. That led to the bizarre sequence of events where Dwayne Bissell cut Neufeld's throat, then cut his body into 9 parts, which were packed into 3 barrels. So that's what's going on right now in Livingston. The event happened last July in a man cave on Evelyn Drive in Denham Springs. So Kevin is out there covering that case. We will keep you apprised as that moves along. So let's move into some better news. Dodging FEMA bullets, dismemberment cases. Let's put all that behind us for this morning. Let's reset here. It's a great morning because we've got several really good lifestyle stories for you, and then we got a ton of football. So let's get into it. Miss Mia Terrell was licensed as a DARE officer. She passed a rigorous training, I guess you can say, session that went on for several days. and she is now the first full-time female dare officer in the parish. So congratulations to her on graduating. You can read all about her story and her background at www.livingstonparishnews.com/living. She's a great lady, very nice lady, and that was written by David Gray. Next, Mr. Ken McFeeters authored a children's book, authored a children's book about the Cajun Navy. It's a really cool book. It's actually funny, one of the stills from yesterday's afternoon show made it look like David Gray was sitting here reading the book, like it was book time with David Gray. If you want to hear more about the details of that, you can watch yesterday's afternoon show, or you can check it out, www.livingstonparishnews.com/living. It as he describes it, it gives you goosebumps, thinking about it. Because the first time Mr. McFeeters was introduced to the Cajun Navy, they didn't have a name. It was during Katrina, and it was just a bunch of guys down there with boats trying to help, and ladies. The Cajun Navy moniker did not come until really after the Great Flood, when they came to help here. So it's a great book. It's a cool little book. And remember, yesterday was story time with David Gray, so you can check it out. Yesterday's afternoon show, again, that's at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We upload all the audio and video versions online. Southeastern released a statement that there will be an 800-pound lion statue coming to their campus. Should be beautiful and very, kind of like the tiger at LSU. Just a sense of pride, a symbol of a sense of pride. Again, that is online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. It's also in Thursday's paper. Now, if you're a sports enthusiast, or you just want to know what's going on as these teams roll into the new season, you can check that out at www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports, or you can pick up a copy of Thursday's paper, and inside Thursday's paper is the football section, where our 2019 football section was released. I don't know if any of you had seen our basketball and baseball sections from last year. My cup is in the way. Let's move that over here. How about that? There you go. So those of you who are watching, if you're listening to this video, I shall describe this to you. It's an 8.5 by 11 magazine, glossy cover, print stock on the inside, a picture of what we figured and what the coaches of these teams figured would be their most prominent team members during the year. There's an ad from Mr. Rogers Pope on the back. It's about 36 pages, and it's all Livingston Parish football. Which you will find online rolling out today if you're not interested in the commemorative edition, which, just like our magazine, we put the glossy wrapper on it with the print stock in the middle, because it holds up better. It lasts longer. Excuse me. Rob DeArmond and William Weathers, who are our sports editors, are rolling out those stories in that section as the day comes along. The first story actually rolled yesterday. That was a story about Mr. Lafayette Dewey and his son Tristan, who plays. Coach Dewey coaches. He's a coach. And his son plays. So it's an interesting father-son duo there. And then most of the other stories started rolling out today, beginning at 8 a.m., and they will run all the way through 3 p.m. So, excuse me. We'll keep an eye on that. If you're interested in reading these stories, tonight would be a great time to sit down and read through all of it, or go find a copy of the paper if you don't already get it in your mailbox. It's in Walmarts and gas stations throughout the Walker, Watson, and Denham Springs area, as well as some rural areas. Coverage on all 5 local football teams, as well as some features about individual players and that kind of thing. It's they did a great job this year. That would be William and Rob and those who helped them. We appreciate it. It's a great piece. We hope you take the time to pick it up or go online, www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports, to give it a read. So again, if you're a football enthusiast, it's a fun thing to pick up and check out as we head into Jamborees, which begin tonight with Denham Springs hosting Dutchtown. One more time around the bend with traffic, and it's still pretty rough out there, folks. Sometimes I open this and I really want to tell you it's like all the traffic's gone, but it never happens. So as of right now, delays back past Juban, heading on I-12 westbound. Those delays continue all the way to Sherwood Forest Boulevard before you get a small opening, and then you hit delays at the 10-12 split. Delays on 190 River Road and 4-H Club Road, where they come together, as well as delays on Highway 64 heading into Central. It's currently 73 degrees, 20% chance of rain, went up from 0 in just about 20 minutes. Partly cloudy today is your weather forecast. It's going to be hot and sunny this weekend. High of 93, 71 and 72 are your lows. A reminder that we will have a special guest. Mr. Gary Frog Talbert will be on the show tomorrow. Plenty of questions for him during the morning show. Then he and I will be recording a podcast. Also got 2 other podcasts for you. Revealed one that is about the NFIP issue. We'll be diving real deep on that, so be on the lookout for that. And another one is a surprise. Remember that we post all these at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. They are free. And you can either listen to them or watch them. That's up to you. If you joined us live today, we appreciate that. If you're listening to us or watching us later, we appreciate that as well. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We post all of our content there as soon as we roll it out. We are also online, www.livingstonparishnews.com, as been mentioned. There are some sections of the website that are $5 a month. We also have an app. If you're not interested in paying the $5 a month, the app is still good for breaking news. That's traffic, bad weather, arrests, those sorts of things. So please give us a check out on those. We're also in print twice a week. Magazine on Thursday, regular broadsheet on Saturday. It comes to your mailbox on Saturday. We call it the Sunday paper. And remember, today is football day. Football special section comes out today as a pre-gamer for the season as teams roll off tonight. Denham Springs hosting Dutchtown in a jamboree. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. One more time, we appreciate you joining us, however you consumed this show, and we will join you this afternoon. I don't know if it'll be Drew or David. We'll find out. Trying to get the sports guys in here to sit down, and we will also have a special guest tomorrow. So please tune in tomorrow, Friday, to hear from Mr. Gary Frog Talbert. We hope you have a great day.